It's a whole club over there. So the reception seems to be okay. Let's see. I'm loving the sun. Yes, yes, yes. So I made a video the other day on dating adventures in LA, and someone commented and said, you should date on the East Coast. Clearly this person does not watch my videos and doesn't know me, because those who do know me and watch my videos know that I have lived on the East Coast pretty much all my life, right? I moved to LA in 2016 to pursue my doctoral studies in clinical psychology. Mission accomplished, so now I'm back on the East Coast, right? And I moved back here 2020 at the top of the pandemic. I hope you guys can hear me because I am outside, but apparently this is like the best reception. I don't get good reception in my apartment of late for some reason. So I moved back here at the top of the pandemic, and when I moved back, I was just, in my bag, right? I was just willing to explore, willing to see what's out there. Not really like how I am now. I've always been selective, but I think my guard was more down, and I was just looking to have fun, looking to see what the dating pool looked like in New York City. And actually, I was prompted to do this video series on my dating adventures because I was reflecting back, and I'm like comparing the dating pool in LA versus New York City. And it's like night and day. Like, I feel like my dating pool, and for those who actually watched my video that I made the other day on dating adventures in LA, I talk about the selection of men that I dated. One being an ophthalmologist, a doctor, pulling in like $500,000 a year. Another one being a real estate investor, owning multiple commercial properties in downtown LA, living in Hollywood Hills. I feel like this just the pool of men is just different in LA that I attracted compared to what's here in New York City. Now, granted, New York City does have an array of different types of men, right? From your regular Joe Schmo, hood niggas, to men who hold a 9-to-5 working in corporate America. I'm trying to think. I don't think I've come across, though, a man here in New York City. Damn, that's something to explore. Have I come across a man here in New York City that makes over 6 figures? Damn, I don't think I have. This is crazy, yo. Having said that, I'm going to share several of my experiences with dating here in New York City. So, when I moved back, again, like I said, it was in 2020, the brink of the pandemic. I was feeling myself. I was in a space to just explore, to step outside my comfort zone, to meet new people, do something different. And I ended up meeting this guy before I moved here who had a shared space that he was renting out. It was a townhouse that he was living in, and he ended up inviting me to come visit when I moved. I actually moved in, right? The space was clean, it was nice. I think what I remember, it was in like in Bed-Stuy neighborhood, the gentrified part, I hate to say, of Bed-Stuy, but it was a nice living space, you know, upstairs, downstairs, clean. I actually made a video. I'm trying to remember what the title was. I know it was relating to cuckolding. I think I entitled it something about black men and cuckolding, right? You guys go check out that series. But it was where I was sitting at the bar in the kitchen, and I took a couple of shots of ginger juice, and someone had walked in, and I was like, I'll get it. You guys remember that? But anyway, so that's that space, right? For those who really follow my page, my channel. And before, like, me and this guy met, right? Granted, like, sometimes I can be in my bag. I do very adventurous things. I take risks, right? And so that was a time where I actually was taking a risk. The sun is setting, no! All right, so I'm losing sunlight, but let's see how much of this video I can complete. So, I can be very adventurous, and I took a risk, and I actually met this guy. I mean, we had been talking like over the phone, doing video chat when I was in LA before I got back to New York City, but I had never like met this guy in person. So yeah, I was taking a chance, and when we met, I was like, wait a minute, you are not the height that you say you were, right? Because he was saying that he was like 5'10". But when I met him in person, dude was shorter than me, and I'm like 5'8". He was like, he could have been no taller than 5'6", 5'7". So I was like, kind of skeptical, and I had confronted him about that, and he was just like trying to brush it off. I was just like, something ain't adding up. And I hate when guys, like, it's a catfish because they present as one way, right, on a dating app. And when you're talking to them, and then when you meet them in person, it's just like, it's all completely different. So that shit turned me off. But I'm like, okay. He actually was, his face was attractive, right? He wasn't ugly in the face, but he wasn't my preferred height. So I kind of just like chopped that up, tried to the game. And like I said, I had moved in. And so me and him was sharing a space. And I hope you guys can hear. And so I remember, like, I was just, a lot of things turned me off. I think number one being that he lied about his height. And then following that, I think I was just looking for other shit to just not be interested in him. One being, I felt like he was not emotionally available. And I ended up finding out why he wasn't emotionally available, because he was broke. And I get it, it was the brink of the pandemic, so a lot of people had lost their jobs. Damn, man, over there. But a lot of people had lost their jobs, and he was one of them. So he was like laid off, and he didn't really have steady income coming in. I'm like, no wonder why he was so readily interested in me coming in to share a space with him, because we and him would eventually split the cost of the rent half and half. And so he wasn't emotionally available. Like, I would be there, and granted, like, I feel like I'm your company, right? If I'm your company, like, you're supposed to entertain me. This is what I'm used to. But he was like kind of disconnected. He was disconnected. He was on his phone a lot. And he was like in the common area of the townhouse where he was living in, like talking on his phone. And I'm like, what are you doing? I feel like if for us to not really know each other and getting to know each other, here I am face to face. Because, like I said, most of our communication was spent virtual. Like, I was back in LA and he was in New York City. And so, you know, this is our time to really connect face to face. It's kind of windy out here, and I'm just like, what the fuck? And so he's on his phone. He's like, what you doing? So I later found out. This is how I found out. And it's like, for me, I don't play that shit, man. So he was like, you wanna because he was renting out an Airbnb, and he was like, next month, would you like to put the Airbnb in your name? And I'll just give you my half. And I'm just like, hell no, what the fuck? No. Like, what's wrong with the way we've been doing it? And granted, I wasn't there that long. I probably was there, if 6 weeks. And so, I'm just like, nah, what's wrong with the way we've been doing it? And so he took issue with that because I guess he felt like, okay, well, she don't trust me. I'm like, hell no, I don't trust your ass. Like, what is really going on? And so I'm like, I got my money. I always, come with my shit, I keep my end of the deal. And so he was like, well, I'm having some financial problems, so, if you don't mind, you can put it in your name, and I'll just give you the money when I get it. So I turned all the way the fuck up. That's the thing about me. Like, I will go there because you're not going to try to get over on me. And I feel like that's what he was trying to do. Like, just be honest. Listen, your ass broke, you ain't got no money. And so the truth came out where he really didn't have any income coming in. And he was trying to get some money. I think that's when they was doing like the stimulus checks. It was something. He was relying on some kind of check that didn't come through. And that shit just turned me off. I wasn't interested in him no more. And I'm like, I see why he was always on the phone because he was trying to secure the bag. He was trying to get income coming in, which it wasn't. That shit pissed me off. So I just had turned, one day I just turned all the way up on his ass and I cussed his ass out, yo. I'm just like, you ain't gonna sit up and play me like that. And I said, you know what? I'm about to pack my shit and get the fuck out. And I'm trying to remember what I had said because it was something related to, we had like some discrepancy over the money issue, right? And I'm trying to remember, it was something. I think he owed me some money. It was so long. This is like so long. It's already 2024. This was like back in 2020. So I feel like he owed me some money. And I was just like, yo, run me my motherfucking shit. No, that's what it was. That's what it was because I had paid him in advance. Right? I had paid his ass in advance, I think, for the next incoming month. Like, because I peeped game, I realized, like, this ain't it. I'm about to go ahead and bounce. And so I was like, run me back my money for the upcoming weeks. I'm not going to be here because I had paid him for the next month in advance. He was like, hold on. I was like, okay. I'm going to go to the bank, blah, blah, blah. Like, nigga, I was like really putting pressure on his ass. Like, you don't want to, like, yo, I turned up on his ass. I ain't gonna front. I turned all the way up on his ass. And he got the picture. And then he ended up getting my money back, and I ended up just bouncing. So then I went to Jersey City. Jersey City was lit. Okay, let me tell you. Jersey City was lit because I ended up renting a townhouse. It was a house, actually. It was like a house in Jersey City. And it was nice. I was the only person there. And I was just, your girl, I ain't gonna front. Your girl was looking to have some fun, right? So I ended up meeting this other guy. I met two guys, right? I met one guy. He was a little firecracker. This motherfucker, he was crunk, right? And I remember at the time when I was in Jersey City, this was like I said, the break of the pandemic. Everything was weird as shit, like suspicious. This is when they was telling us to shelter in place. We couldn't leave our house unless it was for essential errands that we had to run, like going to the grocery store. So they was like trying to say gonna give people tickets for being outside of their house or whatever. So it was a real big deal, right? No one was outside of their house. Everybody was inside. And so I remember when I got to the house in Jersey City, and I actually went outside, because me, that's just kind of how I am. Like, you tell me I can't go out, listen, I'm going to do the complete opposite, right? This is just me. So I end up, let's see, I hope the connection is still good. So I end up just exploring the neighborhood. That's just me. I'm going to explore, wanted to see what was out there. So I ended up exploring the neighborhood where I was at, and I went to the store, and I remember it was just this weird aura in the air. It was like they were making changes. And then come to find out, I learned when I ended up inviting one of the guys that came to see me in Jersey City over, I learned they were actually putting up 5G towers, right, on my block. And so every time I went outside, it was like almost I couldn't, like my oxygen was being sucked out of me. And I think, a lot of us have been negatively impacted by this whole COVID shit because, they framed it as, it's like the flu times 10, but it's something else that was going on that impacts our respiratory. And I feel like that's the reason why I be coughing like this, because it's something. What the fuck it is, but it's something, yo. And so I remember, like, every time I went outside, it was like I couldn't breathe. I would get dizzy. And I experienced this even when I was living in Bed-Stuy before I ended up leaving to go to Jersey City. That as I couldn't, like, breathe, I would get dizzy. So it was, like, forcing us to stay inside, literally, right? It was, like, some epigenetic shit happening, yo. And so, like, something environmental. And so I remember when a guy came to see me, we went for a walk. We ended up going to the liquor store to get something to drink. And when we came back, he like made this joke. He would always say, and this is I think what made him paranoid. He was like, I don't know what it is, but his experience, like coming onto the street where I was staying, it was difficult for him to get to where I was, because he said on the east side of the street, it was blocked off by black marked out cars, right? Like undercover fucking officials, police, or whoever the fuck it was. It was something suspicious, and he was like, I don't know, some important person that lived on this street, right? And he kept saying it to the point where he like really believed it. Me, I ain't paying no attention. I knew they was doing something. I didn't know exactly. I didn't know exactly what they was doing, and I didn't want to be paranoid and adopt those same kind of weird beliefs that he was having about something weird happening. But I knew I could feel it, right? I could feel like, okay, something is off, something is not right with what's happening, right? But I kind of dismissed it. And so I remember we came back from the liquor store and it was vibing. We had a good time. I ain't gonna front though. We had a good time out. That was dry. Excuse me. I was attracted to him. Like, he was sexy, dark skin, chocolate, muscular. Like, he was built. He was fine. That motherfucker, I ain't gonna front. This motherfucker was fine. And so, hold on. Oh, temperature kind of dropped. So when we came back from the liquor store, we vibing, we sipping, we just getting to know each other. Like, and also he was pro-black, conscious, so we on that conscious vibe, conscious frequency, just having some deep-seated conversations as it pertains to the issues affecting the black community and so forth, right? So we vibing, we established that connection. So you already know what time it is, right? So shit get lit. I'm about to do a part 2 of this video because I'm about to go home. The temperature dropped, y'all. Ooh, shit. So we vibing and yep, shit go down. It go down in the motherfucking DM. It went down that motherfucking night, yo. And that was the first time I ever had gotten my ass ate out. Yo, I had never got my ass ate out like that. But that's the first time I got my ass ate out. This nigga, like, he was so passionate with it. Like, you have some men that, for them, it's all about them getting their rocks off. They don't really care about you getting their pleasure from the sex. But it wasn't like that for him. Like, he wanted to make sure that I got what I needed. Like, I was thoroughly over pleasured, if one would say. Like, I was, like, completely pleasured, completely satisfied. I would give it a fucking 20 out of 10, right? Like, it was there. And so this is a peculiar part, though. Like I said, I always have some weird, crazy shit. So the next morning, and this is just routine for me, right? So in the mornings, I have a routine where this is like no matter where I'm at. I can be home, I can be on vacation, I can even be at somebody else's house, right? But it's routine for me. Like, in the mornings I get up, first thing I do, But first thing I do, you already know, I take a motherfucking shit, right? So I go to the bathroom. I'm an early riser. I get up, usually. Sometimes I'll like sleep in or whatever, but usually I'm out in the bed and I start my day. And so I go to the restroom, I take the shit, and I ain't gonna lie, like I was in there for a good little minute, maybe like 20 minutes, if 25 minutes, right? And so I come out, and I cannot make this shit up, yo. I come out the bathroom, I go back to the bedroom, and his ass is gone. Like, no traces of him are in sight. I immediately get on my phone, and I call, no answer, because it goes straight to voicemail. Call back again, same thing. I'm just like, I know this motherfucker, dude. I know this motherfucker. So I'm calling, no trace in sight. Later that afternoon, he calls me. I didn't answer because I'm like, this motherfucker that tried me. So that's it, right? He kept calling. I'm like, what the fuck is going on? He was like, I thought she was trying to set me up. I can't make this shit up, y'all. He was like, I thought you was trying to set me up because I got up, I didn't see you. I'm like, yo, you ain't think to go to the bathroom to look for me to knock on the door? His first instinct was to get the hell out of there. He thought I was trying to set him up. Now, I'm like, I guess he done forgot, and probably the alcohol played a role in this too, where, like, nigga, we didn't sip, we didn't drink, you ate my motherfucking ass hot. Nigga, we done had a whole night of ecstasy, and you think I'm trying to set you up, but maybe, yeah, niggas, like, this is New York City, right? So, motherfuckers be having bad experiences, niggas be traumatized, niggas be having flashbacks, niggas be hyper-vigilant and all that shit, right? I get it. But I'm like, yo, I was so fucking pissed. I say, for me, and this is just how I am. Like, nigga, you fuck up, and this is the beginning phase. Like, I don't want nobody to know each other. We getting to know each other, trying to build trust and rapport. You got one time to fuck up with me, and that's it. I may give you a second chance, but I'm not about to sit here and be playing those kind of games like that. He thought I was COINTELPRO. I don't know, maybe so. But he had already, like, even before he ducked out, and that shit was so weird. He had already was saying, like, oh, it's like something weird happened on the street, like, because he was saying when he came there down the street, like, he had to basically get out his Uber at the corner. Because he said they had my street blocked off, which they did. On each side, it was blocked off, and you can see like a black SUV blacked out. You can't see inside that motherfucker on one side, and the same thing on the other side. And this is, like I said, this was when it was like shelter in place, don't go nowhere, blah, blah, blah. Like, it was weird, right? It was putting up 5G towers and shit like that. So people was like literally going outside their house and passing out. Boom. Right? And it was bodies being shipped, right, to the morgue and shit like that in New York City. Like, New York City was like the epicenter of the pandemic, right? I get it. So, like, everybody was on fucking 10 when it came to just destroying some paranoia and hysteria. I get it. But I'm just like, nigga, I thought we had a connection. I thought that we had established a degree of trust. Like, you spent the whole night. But he thought, yeah, so this is what he said on the phone. He was like, I'm sorry, but like my instincts just told me to leave because I didn't feel right, you know. So he just bounced. I'm just like, hell no, I cut his ass off. So lo and behold, not even maybe a month later, I was in Manhattan. Because for me, like when I first moved back to New York City, I was Airbnb hopping, right? Just to like get a feel of which neighborhood I wanted to move to. But I was Airbnb hopping, trying to get a feel of which neighborhood I wanted to live in, right? So after I stayed in Jersey City, I forget how long I stayed there, maybe like 4 weeks, right? I moved back to New York. I think where was I? I go back to Bed-Stuy or maybe Williamsburg. Then I moved to like Spanish Harlem. So through this process, I went to Harlem BBQ, right? And I was going to give me something to eat. I was eating there, and lo and behold, I'm sitting at the table, and this motherfucker, the same motherfucker from Jersey City that got all paranoid and shit and dipped out, he walked in. He walked past me, he went to the bathroom. I'm like, look at this motherfucker. I'm like, that motherfucker look familiar. He looked over at my way, but not really made eye contact with me. So I'm like, But I had cut his ass off, so that was that shit, right? I'm like, nah. Because, listen, I've said this before in the previous interview, in the previous video, where I said this before, excuse me, y'all. I said this before in the previous video on dating adventures in LA, where I don't like that guy. Like, sometimes guys are like super fucking paranoid or anxious. That shit makes me motherfucking anxious. It's like, if you want me to be calm, you want a woman to be calm, right, and to relax her defenses, it doesn't help if your ass paranoid. Right, and so, and I tell a guy this, it's like, nigga, calm down, because that's not helping me at all. So I had to cut his ass off. So that was that. Then another one, I was still in Jersey City before I came back to Manhattan, right, to New York City. I was in Jersey City at that same house. And I met somebody else, and he was a dominant man. Like, he was, and it's funny because this motherfucker still trying to hit my ass, so he's still trying to make shit pop off. Nah, I feel like this is a thing. If I give a guy a chance, that's your chance. That's your chance, right? If you fuck it up for whatever reason, right? Different things happen, whatever. That's it. It's no rekindle. It's no I come around 6 months later, a year later. Can we? Nah. It ain't no rekindling shit. I feel like only way I probably would rekindle with a guy is if like, yo, we had something serious, long standing. But these like new little short term flings, shit, we lose connection or whatever, and it don't pop off. That's it. That's just how I am. Fuck that. 'Cause I feel like I don't owe you shit. You don't mean nothing, right? So I met a dominant guy, and this nigga was like 6'4", 6'5", tall as fuck, kind of light skinned, had a little shape to him, built, work at a hospital, just dominant. That's what really attracted me to him. Like, he's a dominant man. He into like the whole BDSM thing, right? And that's what I'm into. So we was vibing, same thing to the point where I felt comfortable to invite him over. He came over. We adults here. I'm a grown ass motherfucker when we came through. And I was still standing in Jersey City at the house. I think I made a video on this shit, right? I think the video that I made, is entitled Last BDSM Spanking, I think, or something like that. Something about BDSM spanking. But listen, I don't even know if y'all ready for this shit. I'm about to go ahead and wrap this video up. But how can I put this in a short story? So he came over, we connected. I like guys that just know how to connect with the woman, verbally and non-verbally, and he had it. Like he was very, very emotionally intelligent and knew how to connect. Goddamn helicopter. Knew how to connect, knew how to vibe. He had that down pat, and so we sitting down, chilling, getting to know each other, and it was like, he wanted to give me a spanking, right? And he's like in character, right? It's not even him like playing character, but it's just like, this is who he was, right? And I could tell, real natural dominant men. And he said it in a way where I could not refuse. I could not say no. I was just like, everything in my being, everything in my body, my spirit, my mind just was like, you need this shit, right? So I said yes, and then he helped me undress and laid me across his lap. And the thing is, this motherfucker had, like, he was big. Like, his stature was just fucking big, yo, right? Not like fat, but like just tall and just overpowering me, right? And so he laid me across his lap, pulled my clothes down, and then he was like giving me a spanking, but the shit, yo, his hand, like I said, he's like, his stature is over fucking powering. His hand was so big, and I remember that shit hurted so bad, yo. It was like, I couldn't take it. I took it till I couldn't take it anymore. And then it evolved into us attempting to have sexual intercourse, right? I laugh because it's just like, guys be thinking I'm fucking joking when I say, like, yo, even though I may talk about sex a lot, this is just me, right? I'm sexually free, and I embrace, you know, my sexuality. I'm sex positive, as one may say, where you just kind of embrace, you know, sexuality in of itself, right? I talk about sex uninhibitedly, and so clearly, as you guys can see, right? And so I think sometimes guys mistaken that for like, oh, I'm a freak, or I'm just out here. I'm really not. Like, it's 2024. It is, what, March 2024. And the last time I had sex was January 2021. You hear me? So that's like 3 whole years out here in the streets not having sex. I don't be doing it like that. So guys be like, the guys who are fortunate enough to be able to share intimate moments with me, they be shocked. Because when it came down to that, and I'm with the dominant guy, this shit was, like I say, attempted to have intercourse, but it was not successful because I'm just like, yo, this shit hurt. I can't. He couldn't even get it in. That's how it was. And granted, I wanted to have sex. Like, I was lubricated. I was ready. It just would not happen. It just could not happen. And it was, I think he was disappointed because I think for some guys, they look at that as like they scored, as they would say. They scored, they achieved whatever they set out to do, but nah, that shit was not, it could not carry out through fruition. I had to just say, I can't, even though I wanted to. And then he stopped. He was respectful, even though he tried to insist that we continue. I tried, but I was like, I just had to stop. Like, I was pushing him, just like, I can't, this shit hurt, it's not going in. My body clearly is rejecting it. And like I say, dude was like, I'm 5'8". I think now I weigh like, last time I weighed myself was like 152. I'm like literally like a small framed woman, right? I'm not out here like, fuck it, I'm not loosey goosey, as some people say, right? Like Dr. Umar Johnson say, like, it's not me, right? So I don't have any kids. So my hips are not Our service is not open like that. So that shit didn't work, but maybe it didn't need to work. So from there, it's like, I think he was upset. And so we just had like tension moving forward from that. And it was best that we just not continue. But even after that, like, he had been coming across me on the same dating app, sending me messages, reaching out to me, calling me, just trying to make some shit work. And I'm just like, nah, I'm not interested. It's not. I feel like everything happens for a reason, and that shit happened for a reason. It's a reason why my body rejected him, and it would not allow his phallus to enter into my flower. It's a reason why. But yeah, that was that. And from there, I was like, let me chill out. Like, I want to have fun. Like, I'm back in New York City, right? I'm out here in these streets, right? I'm outside, but I'm just like, okay. I listen to the universe. I listen to science too, and I'm just like, maybe I need to just chill all the way the fuck out. So I do that from time to time. But then, and this is the last one I'm going to share, and I'm going to wrap this video up because the temperature is dropping. I'm out here by the water. I'll give you guys a tour in a minute, but I listened to the universe, and like, I took a break for a little while. Then I met this guy, which I talked about. I met a couple of guys, but I want to go talk about one other guy. Which one should I talk about? Actually, I'm about to go ahead and end this video. I already made a video about the fake ass Black Panther motherfucker. So go watch that video, right? And then the other one, this guy live in Queens. He was just a bitch made ass motherfucker. I don't like bitch made niggas. Just a bitch made guy. And he just seemed very immature and very young. It's just like, okay, you invite me to your space. Nigga, I am your guest, right? But he was just not calculated in the things that he had set for us to do, right? So we're just kind of sitting at his space. He had a nice little space in Queens or whatever. But we just kind of sitting there like with nothing to do. And, you know, I don't even want to recap that. It was just not good vibes at all. But meanwhile, he begging and pleading. This is, to me, the confusing part. It's like, either we vibe, and if we vibing, then you know when things are flowing, right? Because you show interest. It's a mutual interest and understanding and respect, right? But I feel like it wasn't that. We wasn't really connected in that way. I feel like he had a lot of unfinished business and trauma from previous relationships. And he had insecurities, and he was talking to me about his own insecurities, being a black man and working around, you know, other races who women are attracted to. Black women are attracted to non-black men, and the same thing reverse, right? And it's just, I'm like, what does that have to do with us? For me, like, if a guy want to hook me, yes, we can talk about social issues. That's important. That's of relevance, right? But if you really want to hook a woman, like, I feel like the only person that should matter, right? Like, time should stop. The world should stop spinning, right? Almost like Hollywood scene, right? If you really want to capture a woman's interest, like, let it be about her. Let the time spent be focused on her, as if like nothing else in the world matters, right? But if you're so consumed and you're so focused on your own past failures in relationships and insecurities, and, you know, like, he was talking about his work and being a black man and not being able to excel up the ladder. I mean, yes, those things are important, and eventually they will have a space for us to discuss. But I think, like I was saying, like in my other video about dating adventures in LA, how the real estate investor person. Like, all of our conversations always boil down to his portfolio and his fucking commercial properties and how much money he about to make from selling this property and buying this property downtown LA. And it's like, okay, that's cool, right? And that's obviously what made him a multimillionaire, you know. And I seen his nice elaborate home in Hollywood Hills, but I don't really care to hear that. How do I know that doesn't speak to your interest in me? That just speaks to you stroking or wanting your ego to be stroked, relating to that particular guy in Hollywood Hills. And then for this motherfucker in Queens, that just speaks to you got fucking problems and you go see a therapist about. Like, I'm willing to meet a guy, and yes, none of us are perfect, and yes, we all come with our issues, our baggage, our history, but I'm willing to, and I'm able to be emotionally available to meet a guy where we can just be centered in the present moment and enjoy each other and experience happiness, and, you know, that's what I'm seeking. But anyway, let me go. I'm gonna catch you all in the next one. The star has set. This is my view. It is chilly out here. Alright, let me go catch you all in the next one. But yeah, dating has been one crazy adventure roller coaster. Who knows what the future may hold? But I meet guys, like I said, guys come a dime a dozen, right? If not at a higher rate than that. Like, there's nothing to attract a guy because I'm very beautiful. Even today, just based on what I'm wearing. You want to see my outfit? But I got showered in compliments. I know it's dark, y'all probably can't see. I got showered in all kinds of compliments today based on what I'm wearing. Like, it happens. So anyway, I'm about to let you guys go. I'll catch y'all in the next one. Let me know what y'all think though when it comes to this whole fucking dating thing. Like, I really do miss doing my vlogs outside. I'm gonna start back doing my vlogs outside.